Well, the cool thing is reading his promises just as they are. Like not inputting what I think or expect it to say, but actually reading what Yah is saying himself.
It's really
You
hard
know?
to take stuff that we've learned and try to not fit it into the paradigm of what we are relearning. You
Yeah, it's
know,
really
it's like
tough.
there's no way I could have been that wrong. And all those people, like we're talking millions of people for centuries, have
Yeah,
been that wrong.
yeah. We were that wrong. I mean, completely, obviously, terribly wrong.
So we have an option here: complete stop, and then okay, let's go back and see what he says
Yeah.
about it. Like what, where the things are just way off. They're not even close. It's not even close. So yeah. Do you want to read 31, and then I'll read 33?
Okay. Thus said Yahweh, this people that survived the sword found favor in the wilderness, as I led Israel to its place of tranquility. Israel interjects. From the distant past, Yahweh appeared to me. God continues, and I have loved you with an eternal love. Therefore, I have extended kindness to you. I shall yet rebuild you, and you shall be rebuilt, O maiden of Israel. You will yet adorn yourselves with drums, and go forth in the dance of merrymakers. You will yet plant vineyards in the mountains of Samaria, and the planters will plant and redeem. For there will be a day when watchmen will call out on Mount Ephraim, arise, let us ascend to Zion, to Yahweh our God. For thus said Yahweh, sing, O Jacob, with gladness, exult on the peaks of the nations, announce God and say, O Yahweh, save your people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them from the land of the north, and gather them from the ends of the earth. Among
Can I
them
just
there
put
will be
stop? Stop
yeah,
right there. It's like when we read the word Israel, maybe we're thinking about that country in the Middle East. It's not. It's not it.
it's
Israel's a
God's
people.
people.
It's the
Yeah.
people. It's us, and we're blown to the four corners of the earth. And he's saying, "I." He's going to bring us back. But then there's also this: "Arise, let's go to Zion, to Yahuwah, our Elohim." Like this is going to be stated out loud, like all over, all over. There will be a day when the watchmen on the mountains of Ephraim will call out this message: "Arise, let's go to Zion, to Yahuwah your Elohim."
And it's
That's
super like happy, rejoicing, awesome day.
and people in this whatever you want to call it Torah movement are have said that there's a greater exodus coming. And when will we know? And let's go gather right now in the woods together. Oh, it's going to happen like this. And
Yeah,
that
he
day, the
promises
watchmen on the
to
mountain, yeah, arise. Let's
yeah.
go to Zion, to Yahuwah Elohim, not the woods in America or wherever you live, man. It's going to be, you're going to hear it, you're going to know it. And then you're
Yeah.
going to get up and you're going to go.
And it's gonna be so obvious.
And people are going to hear that. It's going to be, it's got to be loud enough. I believe it's going to be loud enough for everybody to hear. Everybody is supposed to hear anyway. You're going to hear it. Like, when do we go? When's that going to happen? Stop. It's not yet. It's not yet. Let Yahuwah work. Let him do his thing.
Right. And he's gonna make it so obvious. And that he himself is gonna gather his people. That I think is a beautiful promise.
So people have this idea that 1948, the Balfour Declaration, David Ben Gurion, and they create this new state of Israel based on the old state of Israel. But the dirty little secret is the original choice was Uganda. And he makes this with the who's that guy Rockefeller, and all these people that are in part of the. I don't want to say their name,
Good. Let's go
but
on.
wait, but that's not Israel, man. They're saying that because these people created it. Oh, look,
Right.
this is the fulfillment of Scripture. No, it's not.
But
Who
that's
is going to do it?
yeah, that's the awesome thing. Is like if we actually read his words and actually do our own homework, we wouldn't be fooled by that. Like we would actually understand what Yah is saying, what his promises are, where we came from, what he is famously done, and do his stuff. Like be in covenant with him.
I mean, yeah, let's.
It's so simple, right?
I'm sorry, I'll just edit this out, but I just have had this attitude since I started thinking about the Greater Exodus, what Israel is, who Israel is, where we are. That that Israel over there is an illusion. Like stuff has to happen over there in order for it to be biblical. But here's a whole description of what's going to happen to
Yeah,
Israel from Yahuwah's word himself.
right. That's why I
He's
think like everything else is such an illusion. When you look at what he actually says, it's so much more clear.
all right. Let's go
Okay.
on. Sorry for interrupting. I just
No, I don't know where I'm at here.
7
Okay.
is what Yahuwah said. Sing a happy song about Yaakov.
Yes. Behold, I will bring them from the land of the north and gather them from the ends of the earth. Among them will be the blind and the lame and the pregnant and the birthing together. A great congregation will return here. With weeping they will come, and through supplications I will bring them. I will guide them on the streams of water, on a direct path on which they will not stumble. For I have been a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn.
See, in my
Hear the
scripture, sorry, my version says Ephraim will be,
uh-huh.
and yours it says is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How many? I'm just curious. How many firstborns does Yahuwah have?
Well, he's claimed Israel and he's claimed Ephraim.
And then the first mention of his sons, Beneha Elohim, in the beginning, right? But
Yeah.
he's got some. He's got a few.
Hear the word of Yahweh, O nations. Relate it in distant islands and say, the one who scattered Israel, he shall gather him in and guard him as a shepherd guards his flock. For Yahweh will have redeemed Jacob and delivered him from the hands of the one mightier than he. And they will come and sing joyously on the height of Zion. They will stream to Yahweh's bounty upon grain, upon wine, upon oil, and upon young sheep and cattle. Then their soul shall be like a well watered garden, and they shall not continue to agonize any more. So that just repeated again what he said earlier. Like he's going to be the one who gathers them in. They're going to come and rejoice on Mount Zion. I think that's just such a beautiful promise. And I think the promise was too that they're going to be in the land of their captors, kind of thing. So here
Yeah.
he's literally rescuing them, just like he did in Egypt. He's rescuing them again, and he's gathering them in. So he had gathered them at Mount Sinai. So here we go again. We have that he provided Joseph to go first. He actually saved the whole world by accumulating grain to feed the whole world. It's
The
pretty
whole
an
world.
amazing story.
The whole world. Right.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a worldwide famine? It
And
wasn't
how
just
merciful that is. Like, Yah perfectly provided. So incredible.
right. So what looks like going to be a gathering to save his people ends up being an enslavement, right? Which is it's kind of the opposite end of that. Like we are blown to the four corners of the earth as a punishment, but he's going to use that to his advantage. Like we are here because
Yeah.
he's
And he
going
had
to
promised
establish.
Abraham. So Abraham knew his people were going to be in Egypt for this amount of time and that they would leave, but leave well, like well provided for. And that's exactly what Yah did. They left with the treasures of Egypt.
I think you can successfully argue that we're in the newest version of Egypt.
All right. Then the maidens shall rejoice with dance, and young men and old men will rejoice together. I shall transform their mourning into joy, and I shall comfort them and gladden them from their grief. I shall satisfy the desire of the Kohanim with fat of offerings, and my people will be sated with my bounty. The word of Yahweh. Thus said Yahweh, a voice is heard on high, wailing, bitter weeping. Rachel weeps for her children. She refuses to be consoled for her children, for they are gone. Thus said Yahweh, restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears. For there is reward for your accomplishment, the word of Yahweh, and they will return from the enemy's land. There is hope for your future, the word of Yahweh, and your children will return to their border. I have indeed heard Ephraim moaning. You have chastened me, and I have become chastened, like an untrained calf. Bring me back to you, and I shall return, for you are Yahweh, my God. For after my returning, I regretted, and after my being made aware of my sinfulness, I slapped my thigh in anguish. I was ashamed and also humiliated, for I bore the disgrace of my youth. Is Ephraim my favorite son, or a delightful child, that whenever I speak of him, I remember him more and more? Therefore, my inner self yearns for him. I will surely take pity on him, the word of Yahweh. Want to talk about that part?
I do. I was going to wait for you to finish, but I mean, there's a couple of things. The first part's talking about, not mourning and dry your tears and this, that, and the other thing. And if you're familiar with the prophecies of Revelation, John, I mean, this is where it comes from. But then there's this. Like how, if you know the prodigal son story, I was taught that meant like you were a dirtbag and you came back to the church.
Oh.
This is who he's talking about. This is Ephraim. This is like
Well, think about his people. They wandered away. They forgot his commands. They went and decided to find out, how do other nations worship their God? I'm so curious. I got to go find out. I got to go join their parties. And they forgot Yah's commands. And here he's saying, okay, that way did not work out well. That's a bunch of crap. I don't want that anymore. I'm going to return. I'm going to actually become aware that that's sin and I don't want that anymore. It doesn't work out well for life. And so I want to return to Yah's ways. I want to keep his commandments and I want to be in covenant with him. And what a delight that is, and such a better way to live.
Yeah, and I like this. I was so ashamed and human. Like, how many of us come out of Torah or come into Torah brand new? And I know I had this feeling. I know every single one of us has. I was so ashamed and humiliated because of all the stupid things I have done ever since I was young. And then when you read the scripture and you hear how it offends and hurts Yahuwah and how much it bothers him, and if you're not ashamed, man, you got to question where your heart's at, dude. That idea that God knows my heart? You need to know his. You need to know his. He's the first. He's got to come first. But, Ephraim, my dear son, is he a pleasant child? Who's the worst child that you have in your lineage? Were they wonderful to be around when they were growing up? No. I still think fondly of him. This is why my heart longs for him, and I will certainly have compassion on him. Like, think about the prodigal son story. This is it. This is it.
And like you said, we wake up to realize, oh my gosh, I've wasted so much time. I've worshiped the wrong God. I've been fooled my entire life. And then you turn to his truth, and it's so much more rich. There's such a depth there. There's such a satisfaction there. Like, I actually know that there's one God who created all things. I mean, I knew that, but I had it so messed up and not reading his words exactly as he says. I mean, it's such a difference.
But, he's going to tell us later on what he's going to think about that. So, and it's good news. Here's the good news.
Okay, make road markers for yourself. Set up landmarks for yourself. Set the thoughts of your heart upon the road, the route that you are walking. Return, O maiden of Israel. Return to these cities of yours. How long will you slip away, O wayward daughter? For Yahweh has created something new in the world, that the woman will court the man. Thus said Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of Israel.
Looks like that dance to me.
Yeah, because your version said the woman will protect the man.
Yeah.
And I see it as Yah's people when we actually start doing what he tells us to do in his Moed. So we meet at certain appointed times, and it's like a dance through the year. We're actually joining step in step with him. He tells us to meet him at certain points in the year, and it's such a beautiful thing to celebrate his Moed. Thus said Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of Israel, people will again say this thing in the land of Judah and in its cities. when I return their captivity. May Yahweh bless you, O abode of righteousness, O holy mountain. Judah will dwell in it and in its cities together, plowmen and those who travel with the herd. For I have quenched the thirsty soul and have replenished every distraught soul. Because of this vision, when I woke up, so this is Jeremiah speaking, my sleep was pleasant to me. Behold, days are coming, the word of Yahweh, when I shall sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah, the seed of man and the seed of animal. And it shall be that just as I was diligent concerning them, to uproot, to smash, to destroy, to annihilate, and to bring evil, so will I be diligent concerning them, to build and to plant the word of Yahweh. In those days it will no longer be said, the fathers ate sour grapes, but the teeth of the sons were set on edge. Rather, every man will die for his own sin, and the man who eats sour grapes, his own teeth will be set on edge.
So let's discuss that one a little bit. So what did we figure out last night?
Well, Yahweh promises that his kindness goes 1,000 generations when we love him, when we do his commands. And here, in some day coming, because sometimes it seems like the evil prosper and like when are their ways going to be returned on them? Like what is Yah waiting for? Here he promises that if you sin, then you die for your sin kind of more quickly than and we see today it's super late.
So you're going to be responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his reward is with him, so it's totally worth doing his ways. Behold, days are coming, the word of Yahweh, when I will seal a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant that I sealed with their forefathers on the day that I took hold of their hand to take them out of the land of Egypt. For they abrogated my covenant, although I became their master, the word of Yahweh. For this is the covenant that I shall seal with the house of Israel after those days, the word of Yahweh.
Wait, this seems like, okay, people may say, well, see, there it is. He's going to make a new covenant. No, you guys, we blew the first covenant. We blew the first contract. All that you said do, we'll do, and then we blew it. Right? We threw it out. Then he's saying he's going to reinstitute it. It's coming back. It's not going to be replaced with something new. He's like, this generation, that generation, in the future, I'm going to reissue the covenant. It's coming back, man. The same one.
Right. It's not that he didn't keep up his end of the bargain. It's that his people did not. Like they entered into the covenant. They promised all of their descendants would as well. They wanted to be God's people. And then they blew it very shortly after that. Here he's saying, my offer is still good. If you choose to enter into that contract, into that covenant, that offer is still good. It's not a new covenant. It's just that you can choose to enter that covenant.
And we could have chosen that the whole time. We just didn't realize what it was.
Yeah.
What are we signing up for? I don't even know. And then they're going to say there's nothing new under the sun, man. We already know that. Yeah. And if he's changing his mind, he's unreliable. He's not changing his mind. He's he'll cover this in the next verse we read because, well, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, although I became their master, the word of Yahweh, for this is the covenant that I shall seal with the house of Israel after those days, the word of Yahweh. I will place my Torah within them, and I will write it on their heart. I will be a God for them, and they will be a people for me. They will no longer teach, each man his fellow, each man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for all of them will know me, from their smallest to their greatest, the word of Yahweh, when I will forgive their iniquity and will no longer recall their sin.
I mean, those aren't the most incredible words you ever heard.
Yeah.
It's not like this is an if then that. If you do this and I do that. No, he's making a statement. I am Yahuwah. He's putting his name on it.
Yeah.
declares Yahuwah. This is what I'm going to do. This is what's going to happen. There's nothing you
Look,
can do about it. It's like it's not the narrative that we've been told is not true.
and look how many times he specifically said, "This is my word of Yahweh." He is like putting his stamp on it. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is for sure going to happen. He's saying it himself. Thus said Yahweh, who gives the sun as light by day, and the laws of the moon and the stars as a light by night, who aggregates the sea so that its waves roar. Yahweh, master of legions, is his name. If these laws could be removed from before me, the word of Yahweh, so could the seed of Israel cease from being a people before me forever. Thus said Yahweh, if the heavens above could be measured, or the foundations of the earth plumbed below, so too would I reject the entire seed of Israel because of everything they did, the word of Yahweh.
So we got to stop right there because some people may not have heard that completely. Only if the heavens could be measured or the foundations of the earth could be searched. It's an impossibility, people.
Yeah.
Would I reject all of Israel's descendants? Like,
And you
there's no.
obviously see the light in the sky in the day. You obviously see the stars at night. Like he's being so obvious. You can see this. Anyone in the world can see this. You can notice that his law still is true.
So he knows at Jeremiah's time, Yirmiyahu, you want to say it? He's telling him to tell us that he knows this is going to happen. Like he's making this statement because he knows there's going to be this replacement theory that comes around that he no longer likes his people.
It doesn't work.
Mm.
It doesn't work at all. And this is Jeremiah is right before they go to Babylon. Like they're about to be destroyed as a nation. So it's almost like a reassuring. Wherever you are, if you see that sun in the sky, you know my laws are still true. Wherever you are,
What a
captive or
powerful
not,
statement. What a powerful
you see
statement.
those stars in the sky, you can be my people. You can keep my Torah. It's in your heart. Like you can do this. It's possible.
And he also says that he would put it on our hearts and write on, and we would just do it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people wake up all over the world and have no idea why all of a sudden one day they decide to start reading and start doing. Like, you tell me he isn't fulfilling that prophecy this very day, this very hour.
Pretty cool. Behold, days are coming, the word of Yahweh, when this city will be built up unto Yahweh, from the tower of Hananel until the corner gate. The measuring line will once again be stretched out over Gareb Hill and around Goa, and all the valley of the corpses, and the valley of the ashes, and all the fields up to the Kidron valley, until the corner of the horses' gate. To the east will be holy unto Yahweh. It will not be abandoned, nor destroyed again forever.
So, who's going to rebuild it? Who's going to make all this happen?
Yahweh himself.
Not David Ben
And then
Gurion.
it won't be abandoned again. It will never be destroyed again. Like that hasn't happened yet. So this future promise is something to look forward to.
I think they're going to have to worry about this the Gaza Strip. Like, if the Yehovah declares it's his, man.
Wherever this is that he's measuring out, it's going to happen. It's going to be right there exactly.
And there ain't nothing we can do about it.